You'll never be at peace if you're still trying to prove to the world that you're enough because you are placing importance on that. And what does importance do when we think of things, when we need things to happen? It pushes them away or it causes them to not happen on time or whenever you were expecting these things to happen or not happening ever. But when you let go of how important you think something is, you actually open up all of the possibilities of that thing truly coming to life. And when you stop valuing, rating, thinking that your worth is dependent on something from outside of you, that's where you find peace. That is where your value is at, of being a human being, of being aware of how you are living your life, of understanding that you have a lot of likes and dislikes, and surrendering life needing to go your way. And when you become someone that life doesn't need to go your way, things that you don't like, it's all right for them to happen. You really let go of a lot of that resistance. And in things that you want or expect or really you desire, you actually make yourself more susceptible to being able to accept those things when you let go of the importance. And it's like you stop placing something on a pedestal because putting things on a pedestal pushes them away from us. When I wanted a particular person's approval for me to feel worthy, for me to feel like I'm enough, or I'm a good looking man, or I'm able to attract her into my life at the time. What would happen was the opposite of what I wanted because I wanted it too much, because I cared too much. But if I could have been someone at the time, that would have been good either way. And I've shown my interest in this individual, but I didn't think it was all that important that they engaged with me or they wanted to date me or they came to my home to sleep with me when I was trying to hit on them. If I would have looked at any of those rejections or things not working out, schedules not aligning, as it not being that huge of a deal, that those rejections, 90% of them wouldn't have been rejections because they would have felt my energy of not caring all that much. And what do people tend to be drawn to? People who are grounded within their own energy and don't need, they can be good people, respectful, and you acknowledge others and you are part of a community, whether you are at home with your family or out in public. You're out to contribute to a community. You don't become a narcissist when you are spiritual. Yes, there is an ego aspect to it. But it's all about being smart and not allowing the ego to run your life. When you can become aware of these patterns, these relationship dynamics, the way that you are thinking about your life, you can begin to act and be in a state of consciousness that makes you feel peace. And the more peace that you feel for the right now, the less importance you're going to place on that hot girl that you'd like to show them that you're interested. But if they reject you or look the other way or disrespect you in any way, it's fine, 'cause that's just one moment in time, one small little short little moment in time in a day. It should not affect your state. It should not affect who you are and how you view yourself. It's just one little nick, one little moment in time. And who's to say every time that you're going to get rejected by that girl or that person? It's not always going to be. The assumptions can change, and the results you will receive will change. When you begin to look at your life like you are not the victim to society, you're someone who can exist simply for being you. You're someone who brings a lot to the table. You start to look at your life in a good way and not just ignoring things that you don't like to manipulate. You allow them to be there. And eventually those thoughts fade away and it makes space for good feelings and better thoughts. Better thoughts. Wouldn't you want to be someone who feels love, peace, and gratitude for your current life? Well, when you start to look at yourself like that and feel like others like that around you, you attract love, peace, and gratitude to you because you are not projecting energy of people being your enemy, of them owing you things, of you not being enough, and they need to validate you so that you feel enough about yourself. You don't place that burden upon others anymore. It's a completely different way of looking at your life. It's a mind shift, game changer. And when you game change, you level up, you become a gamer. I quite often mention on the channel, we are all elite here on the channel here. We are gamers. Because when we get on this level, when we begin to look at life like this, when you practice the principles I teach, life becomes a lot more fun to live because you can show up every day and do things you love and have fun with the process for anything that you are working on, whether it's business or relationships or having a better relationship with yourself. When you view yourself as good enough, whether this person validates you, says yes to the dress if you proposed, says yes to the date on Friday, don't matter. You're good either way. They said no, good. Fine, you'll meet someone else next week. I guarantee it. You won't meet someone better next week if you go to work in your mind thinking that you did something wrong or you don't look good enough or there's something wrong with you because you got rejected. Because what will happen is that story of that rejection and that person not validating you will fester. And what will happen is you will create a reality of you not being good enough for this one particular person. And then you either go to work on that person or you attract similar relationship dynamics from other people that you're not able to win over. And you're attracted and addicted to that loop. But what you can do much better is use these small steps, these small little nicks. Like I mentioned earlier, a nick, getting rejected. Small little nick in time. It's nothing. It won't be anything. unless you make it be a big deal. If you make it be a big deal, it's going to be a huge deal. You're going to go home, you're going to be like, what's wrong with me? Am I not lean enough? Was I not working on my fitness? Like Fergie, getting up in the gym, working on my fitness. No, it has nothing to do with your level of physical fitness. If you were just wanting to have a physical relationship with them in a one-off, sleeping with them once, yeah, that's great. You look good, yeah, awesome. There's a lot more to that. You got to connect on a way deeper level. And you don't have to figure out which version of me do I need to show up as. When I let go of who do I need to be accepted by certain people, I had so many different relationships pop up into my life. And then I met my wife, and then the rest was history. And in recent times, I got rid of people I had negative, toxic relationship with that would trigger things from my past. And I knew that just keeping them there was me being addicted to a pattern in my own head that once I would receive this approval that was like this rejection that happened in high school, then I could finally feel enough. I knew that that was just something that was in my own head that was attracted to me because of that negative block within my system. And, it's all about being more aware of it and starting to look at your life in a different way through the different lens. Like I've been talking on these past few videos on putting on the lens of awareness. And, a conclusion here or a solution to start to get to the bottom of this stuff and what's going on, getting better with it, is pick up a cheap little notebook at the dollar store and start journaling. Start writing down. If anything on this video resonated with you, you can leave in the comments, but start to evaluate how you felt about your own life as you watch this and some of these life moments where you felt like you weren't enough or certain people triggered feelings of unworthiness in you because of the rejection instead of looking at it as it happened for you. And what could you have done better? What do you think was wrong with you? What part of you was not good enough for this person? Do you know? Do you really need to know? Or is it just a relationship dynamic? Did you consider this person an SP? A special person? Like in the law of attraction field people mention? That's also a form of placing them on a pedestal. But when you become someone that looks at life feeling more acceptance in the state of consciousness of acceptance, and neutrality is a big one as well. And neutrality, being neutral, being good either way, is not that we dislike people and that we don't need a single person. That's not true. To feel like you are a healthy human being in your behavior is on point, is positive to be around, is number one, to be very self-reliant, to feel love for your own life, to feel like you are making a difference because of who you are being and not being dependent on things from outside of you to feel this way. That's number one. And number two is to look at the environment and people that are around you as your comrades. And I'm not saying you got to be best friends with every individual out there, but when you walk through a public place and look at people as your comrades, strangers, or people who are your real friends, or certain people that you feel toxic, negative energy from, you don't got to be best friends with them or need to talk with them. But if you walked through that room as thinking of them as a comrade, but someone that's just an unhealthy connection for you, you can create that boundary. But if you walked through that public place tomorrow or anywhere else you will frequent this week, number one, My energy is dependent on me being self-reliant, grounded within my own energy. It's the way I end off all my videos lately. You practice that. You practice bringing the energy back to self. And that can be done by taking some time throughout your day, either first thing in the morning or at the end, and having that journal like I just mentioned, where you picked up at the dollar store, to journal how this video made you feel, or what I was talking about yesterday or on Saturday. It's when I started journaling and writing down what was making me feel unworthy, what was it about myself that I thought wasn't good enough? Why was I not worthy yet for other people? Was it because I had too much body fat? Was it because my face is not perfect? Is it my teeth? Is it my hair? Because I got the gray hairs? Don't think so. I think of myself as an attractive man, but not in a way that I'm better than others. I see everyone as my equal. That's extremely beautiful women, or women that I may consider not as physically attractive. I still think everyone is beautiful. And when you look at life like that, you're less judgmental and resentful of the outer world. You're going to make so many more better connections. And you focusing on this person that rejected you is not doing you a favor. It's actually keeping you stuck in that loop that I speak of, which is an addictive, toxic pattern. You got to break up with that pattern. You know, we don't want to break up with someone to make them feel bad because you're going to feel guilty. It's also what's happening with you in this thing that's keeping you spiraling in this addictive pattern of trying to win over this one person's approval that rejected you recently. And you don't know why, because you think you're hot stuff. You think you got it going on. You got a good job. You maybe you got a lot of money. I don't know. Everyone's different. But when you let go of why did this person reject me and start to focus those thoughts on working on myself, working on your fitness, working on your mindset, your spirituality with that notebook, when you start to change your energy and not let that little nick in time to ruin your day or ruin your week or ruin your life, you start to look at that as something that could be your breakthrough and start your spiritual journey. Because we are on this trek together. We will achieve greatness together. And you can start with just journaling this week. And let me know how that feels if you like journaling. I know personally for me, these past few years when I've journaled here and there, it's been a really great practice of just getting off my cell phone, either reading from a book, journaling what my thoughts are, and coming up with some solutions on how I can not focus on how these people made me feel and what I could do better tomorrow. And I went out into the outer world and still treated some of these people that made me feel in a negative way or rejected me with respect. Like they are my comrade, because why? I am self-reliant. I am grounded within my own energy, as are you. That's why I am teaching you the way. And we are going to get there together. So stay grounded within your own energy and keep pushing forward.